Past 8. And we should be all good now to chat with Vernon Andrews about Burning Man. Vernon, sometimes correspondent here on the Radio Whammo Breakfast, joining us in California. I think in Chico, California. G'day there, Vernon.
How's it going there, Whammo?
Very, very well, thank you.
Now, Rugby World Cup and everything going on there, right?
It is. Yeah, you'll be missing all that, wouldn't you?
I will be missing all that, but as of October 1st, I get everything free on my TV here, so I'll be watching.
Oh, great.
I saw the first match also.
Oh, you did? Okay, yeah. And are you keeping up with most New Zealand sports and what's going on here?
Yeah, I watched the Super 12 or Super 14 final, and I saw my Crusaders go down gallantly. But apart from that, no, I've been so busy trying to keep up and relearn U.S. sport that I've left it to the World Cup now. So now I'll get back in the gear.
And of course, Burning Man is that's quite an experience, and that will take you away from sport, I suppose. Tell us about Burning Man and what it actually is. You know, what kind of festival it is, and how long it's been around, and all that kind of stuff.
Well, this year was the 25th anniversary, and it really is a sort of an art, music, bohemian kind of radical self-expression festival. So it started 25 years ago in San Francisco, where a guy wanted to, burn a man on the beach, and he did it for a couple of years, and the police told him he couldn't do it anymore.
Yeah.
So they took it out to the desert, and it evolved into what it is now, which is, between 40 and 50,000 people every year getting together in a sort of a makeshift village that they put together out in the middle of the desert in northern Nevada.
And when you say desert, I mean it really is. The classic dry, dusty old desert, right?
It is dry, and it is dusty, and playa dust gets on your eggs, your bacon, and your cocktails, and everything that you do.
Because in New Zealand we're used to, we do festivals, but generally they're just music festivals, and there might be a few arty things going on the side, but the main event is music. What's the story with Burning Man?
Yeah, there are a few music festivals in Northern California, too, that people go to. And they're 3-day festivals, and people, do and vibe and, I guess do a few drugs and eat good food and sleep out in tents all night. And, again, the center is the music. At Burning Man, there is a lot of music. They bring in guest DJs like Carl Cox and others from around the world to throw these lavish rave parties in the evening. But also, it's about the art. It's about the people. It's about the conversations you have with someone when you walk into the tent and they got a little bar set up there and you sit there for 3 or 4 hours. It's about presentations. There's a whole booklet full of presentations you can go to any hour of the day, 24 hours a day.
Wow. That's very cool. There doesn't seem to be, the impression I get, there doesn't seem to be a typical Burning Man person that actually goes. There seems to be a wide variety of people, right?
You know what, you hit it right on the head. And I was hoping you wouldn't ask me, tell me the typical Burning Man person, because really there isn't. There are doctors and lawyers and tons of nurses who come out, school teachers, and not only that, but people from around the world. Huge contingencies from Italy, from Spain, the UK, Germany, and New Zealand especially. New Zealanders love Burning Man, and I just want to give a shout-out to all my burners in New Zealand who are there, who may be listening, who want to make sure that I get it right here.
For sure.
Right, because it's a very difficult thing to describe in a brief amount of time.
Yeah.
And regardless of what I say, you won't know Burning Man until you've been there for 2 days and you say, oh, this is what it's like.
Wow.
It's a feeling. It's a feeling of community, of sharing, self-reliance, and gifting.
Yeah.
You give things to people. You just treat people in a way that you want to be treated, and people just randomly come up and say, "Hey, come over here. We're having French toast this morning," or "Hey, we're having Bloody Marys and bacon." And I should tell you, bacon is a very, very prized possession on the playa. Even vegetarians eat bacon on the playa.
Yeah. Does it? I mean, you're out in the desert, so does it get hot during the day?
Yes, hot during the day and cold at night, which is typical for deserts. And in the day, it's probably going to get up into the 80s, maybe sometimes into the 90s. At night, it may. Oh, that's right. You wouldn't know what that is. It's the 80s and 90s to the high 20s.
Okay.
And at nighttime, it may, dip down, not to zero, but it does get cold.
Yeah.
It does get cold at night.
Yeah. And just getting back to this, the types of people that go to Burning Man, I hear that it's also very big with the Silicon Valley types, the entrepreneurs, the startups, the high tech companies and people as well.
Right. Giving it so close to the Bay Area. You got a lot of people who are in the high-tech industry, a lot of engineers and scientists and computer science people who make these mad art cars or these mad art installations that are these huge things. Big spiders that walk or strange-looking automobiles.
Wow.
Amazing art.
Yeah.
And they put they get grants sometimes to help them from the Burning Man, foundation. We each pay roughly between $200 and $380 to buy a ticket.
Yeah.
And a lot of that money goes to not only build the place and break it down, but to subsidize tons of the art out there, which is the best art I've ever seen. And I've been to the Guggenheim, the Louvre, the Museum of Modern Art in New York, all these places. Nothing compares to what you see on Burning Man.
Wow. And Vernon, you're an academic, so was there anything for you in that sort of field at Burning Man? Yeah.
Yeah, as a matter of fact, there are a lot of burners who are also academics, and we have a group called the Burning Nerds. And so we meet at this place called the Ashram Galactica, which is a huge tent that was gifted to the Aussies this year. So the Australians ran the whole show. Huh. But we have a huge food layout, and then there's a massive and a great bar there, by the way. But we each go and we discuss our own research to the group. And
wow.
We get up and give a presentation, and people give you information, and they collect census data on the playa every year. So a lot of us write about the playa, and this year I'm going to be writing about African Americans and their experience on the playa. And I should tell you that another thing I love to do is about Kiwis. Kiwis love Burning Man so much so that only 5 places in the world have been allowed to have their own off-season burn, as it were. And New Zealand is one of those places.
Yeah, we do have something here, don't we? Yeah.
Yes, there is. And I would love to attend it, and feel free for people to get in touch with me if they do know about the burn. I'm just at vernon.andrews76@gmail.com or on Facebook under Vernon Andrews. I would love to talk to people about that in New Zealand. And I missed the New Zealand party this year. They have one party where they serve 42 below drinks, and it is quite a scene in that tent when you walk in. You're in a different world. They have a lamb on a spit going. Kiwis love Burning Man, and Burning Man love Kiwis also.
Yeah. Now, one thing that happens with festivals is that, that over time they grow and they evolve, and Burning Man's been around for a long, long time. But is there any sign that it's going to burn out, or get too popular, get too big?
Well, this year was the 25th anniversary, and for the first time ever, it went over its maximum capacity. And no one knew it even had a maximum capacity because they'd never reached it before.
Right.
But they have a contract with the state that it couldn't go over 50,000. And this year, it hit 50,000, and they had to cut off tickets. And a lot of people wait till the last minute. Artists who are doing their work wait till the last minute, and a lot of people couldn't get in because of that. So the question is, they've given it over now to a nonprofit, and the question is it going to change next year? Is it going to be different? Will it have the same feel? And we won't know that yet. But I'm guessing they're going to try to keep the integrity of the event.
And is law enforcement sort of quite hands-off with the event?
Law enforcement is there, and they do things like, for all the art cars, the mutant vehicles that are roaming around, and think of Road Warrior. Think the movie with Mel Gibson in Australia. That's what it looks like.
Yeah.
Those mutant vehicles running around. They have to be at 5 miles an hour, though.
Right.
And you can't be drinking and driving. They'll stop you and give you a ticket.
Yeah.
If you're going over 5, they'll give you a ticket. And they do, confiscate drugs from people sometimes. So sometimes they can get a little heavy-handed, but they don't get rough.
Okay.
They try to keep it because it brings in millions of dollars to the economy. So it's a good symbiotic relationship.
Well, it sounds like a life changer, Vernon.
You know what? It's for burners. Again, I haven't done it much justice, but for burners, it's a deep feeling of community. And you burn the man, which is on Saturday, but on Sunday there's a temple burn. And if you go online and take a look at the temple this year, you will see one of the most amazing sort of spiritual moments that people had because the thing was so amazing and so large. And it really is, for a lot of people, very much a spiritual journey. There's yoga camps and all types of things going on. So it's a little bit of everything for everybody. And I don't want many people to come from New Zealand. People come from a lot of different places because we don't want it to get too big.
Yeah.
But 1 or 2 of the people out there will be going. As a matter of fact, I think you're thinking about going next year, right?
Yeah, well, yeah. Because I know a few people have gone and go every year, and I'd love to join them. And yourself, if you're going to go next year?
I will be right there, man. City Boy will be on the playa. City Boy, you get a playa handle, depending on what you like. And I never slept in a tent before until last year, and so I didn't know how to put it up, and so there you go, City Boy.
No worries about snakes and creepy crawlies?
There's nothing that lives on the playa. If you find a little plant, you'd be amazing. You'd be amazed. And every now and then you see an insect. But
right.
There's nothing out there. It is bone-dry desert.
There's no crazy cactus?
No crazy guy. It's as dry as you can imagine. The ground cracks. It's so dry.
Yeah.
And that's how the dust flies up. You'll be fine. You'll be fine.
Oh, it sounds like so much fun. Burning Man. Yeah, that's awesome. And really nice to hear about it from you, Vernon.
Radical self-expression. Radical self-expression. Be who you've always wanted to be. You can be that on the playa, and no one will even look your way because it'll be way down the scale of things they're looking at.
Cool. Hey, that's cool, Vernon. Hope to catch up soon about something else you've been up to. Who knows? It could be anything. Thanks very much.
Yes, buddy. Take care of yourself, Ramo.
See ya.
Hey.
Vernon Andrews joining us in Chico.